A very warm welcome to the next episode of the Raj podcast, where we're going to have it in two editions, the open air and the closed room. So, to start with the open air part of it, I welcome Mrs. Sonal Barmecha, who is the most talented and dynamic entrepreneur I've ever met till now, who had the courage to start at 40. For those of our audience who is much younger than you also, she has 9 restaurants under her, 3 brands, Yamaswamy, Sonte, La Mergia. I'm really excited for the conversation. To start with, Sonal Aunty, one very important question which I feel is starting up by yourself easy or not? And what are your thoughts on that? What all do you need to start up, and what is the role of support of people around you for starting up?
Hey Ruvik, hello. I know since 2-3 months you've been chasing and आखिर में आपने मुझे घर पे ही पकड़ा.
Yes.
Nice, and I'm very overwhelmed to talk and give this interview to you. Yeah, see, nothing is very easy in life. If you want to achieve, there is no shortcuts for sure. मतलब तुमको वजन कम करना है, there is no shortcut. तुमको success पाना है, there is no shortcut. There is a hard work. You have to prove everybody that you are doing something and it is going to work for you. So people won't believe initially when the thought process and the idea is new, but then if you prove it to the world, then जैसे बोलते हैं ना पूरी कायनात जुड़ जाती है तुमको मदद करने के लिए. मेरे साथ exactly वैसे ही हुआ. मेरे को बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस था कि जो मैं कर रही हूँ, जो मेरे इनर इंस्टिंक्ट से कर रही हूँ, दैट विल श्योरली वर्क. भले ही सब लोगों ने बोला है घास फूस कौन खाएगा, हेल्थ फूड रेस्टोरेंट, व्हाई आर यू इवन इन्वेस्टिंग? एवरीबडी टोल्ड मी, whoever I met, right from my chefs and not the chefs whom I am working with, but then I met a lot of chefs before I started, everybody is like, मैम ये घास फूस रेस्टोरेंट्स में कौन खाता है, आप शुरू भी मत करो. But then I'm like, if I don't try, I'll feel bad all my life that I didn't even give it a try. So then I thought, let's me try with the smallest investment. So my dad helped me, my husband, my in-laws, all of them helped me. I had some savings of mine. And then that's how I started with a very small investment of 50 lakhs with just a 40-seater. Slowly I grew as and how I got the confidence that no, this is really working. When I started proving that this kind of things work, everybody, the whole media started covering me that this is a new concept. Lokmat told me that she is modern Annapurna. They gave me that tagline. So then I felt very nice and it motivated me furthermore. So the biggest role, there are a lot of people, of course, if you have a good ecosystem, if you have a strong ecosystem, only then the growth is assured. Because everything you can't do by yourself. Yes, you are motivated, you are passionate, you are mad about it, you are self-disciplined, everything is there, but you need mentors in your life. You need somebody who supports you from back. So my family was there, but then Chef Shailendra was there who curated the menu and who believed in this concept. Then later, after 5 years, I met, just after COVID, I met Mr. Admelo Rajesh. He's really a mentor in my life. And he is the one who taught me how to do a business. Till then, I was doing everything like just about my passion. It was all about my passion. You could see that I was doing everything by myself. I had no good staff. So he told me that, Sonal, you have to come out of operations. You have to focus on your growth. You have to do all of these things. So you need mentors who teach you right from your dressing sense, how you have to be on your social media. And I mean, he taught me a lot. And I can see the difference, the way I'm working and the way I used to work because of him. So yeah, some people really got a big change in me and I'm so grateful and thankful for them. So Ruvik, I think I have a lot of meetings, lot of things lined up. Let's go to Sonte and I will do my work as well and we will do this further interview. Is that okay with you?
I think personally I'm the happiest. I always wanted it at Sonte so that I can taste some nice things over there while we do this. So yeah, let's go there.
Yes, let's go. Come, I'll quickly change and let's go.
Yes. Sonte, La Magia and Yamaswamy. So I think they're catering to a wide variety, South Indian, Italian, all of that. So even in terms of content and topic, it's a very fun podcast for me being the food lover.
Yeah, nice.
So if you don't mind, can you share something about your background, your initial journey, how it all began? As in, irrespective of your business, in your personal life also, how your original old days were?
I'm a Marwadi girl and I am from a military school background. So I've done my hostel life in my military hostel, and it stands for a lot of discipline when you're out from a military hostel. After that, of course, I was doing my chartered accountancy, then got married to Pune, and I started the restaurant business at the age of 40. I used to practice when my kids were small. But then as kids grew, their exams, their responsibilities and the March ending all merged together. So I had to give up one to focus on my kids, because 100% for me, their growth, their whole what do you say,
That became a priority at that
became a
point of
priority
phase, yeah.
to bring them up became my priority. So I kept my CA thing aside, and I knew I will do something once I am independent. So I started my restaurant journey at the age of 40.
That's inspiring. Did you always dream to be an entrepreneur even as a child?
Yeah, my dad, see, kids, as a kids, we don't really learn, we learn through a lot of observation.
Correct.
And my dad was a very good businessman. My dada was a very good businessman. He used to always teach us that we can never save taxes. I mean, we should not do taxes ka chori. We should pay all the taxes to government. He was very
That's
disciplined
nice.
while he was doing his business.
I like the ethic and business combination.
Yeah, so he was that, and I learned that, and that was in my blood. I had imbibed that, and I always wanted to do a business, because Marwadi ke khoon mein hota hai, you can't work for somebody, you have to be independent.
Of course,
so that was there.
of course. Okay, tell me one thing. Starting a business. Generally, when people talk about मेरा startup है, मैं कुछ नया चालू कर रहा हूँ, how much I've come across, they're at the age of say 21, 22, max 27, 28 after some 3-4 years of job experience, and then you do an MBA and then you go and start up. That's like just the common trend.
That's how they do.
Being from a Marwadi woman background, at the age of 40, starting up, how was it?
So lot of people tell me at 40 people take a seat back, but then I started with at the age of 40, and trust me guys, I was with a lot of zest, lot of enthusiasm, lot of passion, lot of self-discipline. I one day thought, let me leave everything. I was a socialite. I used to love going out, kitties and parties, and I used to love all that. One fine day I decided. So, women are so strong also, they have to decide and they can do anything.
Right.
I decided I don't want to do anything. I will just do the business and I'll make it super successful. Because when I came up with this concept of health food 7 years back, there was nobody in the restaurant line who was doing this. And then everybody is like, this won't even be a success. Why do you want to do this? I said, let me prove these people. I convinced everybody at my home that if I don't try, I will feel guilty all my life that I have not even tried. So it will be a loss of like initial 50-60 lakhs. But then if you don't try, you feel guilty, you feel like a loser that you didn't even give it a try. So I had a very strong instinct that let me try at least, because there was a huge gap. The best thing later what I understood is, if you understand the gap in the market, that this is the gap and this is the customers you need to cater. Once you understand that, it's very easy, because I stay in market yard, but then I knew that my customer would be people from Korega Park or well-traveled. Osho is just next door. So I knew that this is the customer I want to cater. This is the customer I want to target. So that's the reason I chose to be in Korega Park.
That's nice.
So
That's nice.
The whole study was around that, So
I think your initial research, I just take two very key things. One, identify the gap in the market,
Yes, very
and
important.
identify your customer.
Yes.
If you can combine these two and bridge these two gaps, I think there's nothing left.
Your half game is done. Then you know that rest all things like your menu, your cutlery, your ambience, your service, all those things have to be coming together, but that then slowly happens.
That's nice.
Even I didn't know, because nobody from my family, nobody from my husband's family, nobody was from the restaurant line. So it was all like a learning stage. And the one more keynote, Ruvik, I want to tell you is, if you are going to do a startup, never start with a big thing. You never know how it is going to learn, how it's going to happen, because it's a learning stage for you. Always start with a small investment, small setup, small things, so that you learn and slowly grow. And once you're confident, the growth is like never ending. It just happens. So always start with a small setup. I also did that. I just started with a small 40-seater. Then slowly, in next 60 months, I did 80-seater. Then in a year's time, I did like 120, and now I'm a 250-seater. So slowly we grew.
Nice. If you don't mind, how long has this journey been for you in terms of
It's been
years?
7 years, and this November 15th, I'll be 8 years old. Sunday will be 8 years old.
That's nice. Tell me one thing. ये सब जो आपने बोला अभी सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि ये है गैप मिल गया, ब्रिज कर लेंगे, थोड़ा पैसा डाल देंगे एंड हो जाएगा. Many people do it that way, but in the initial days it's not very easy. Even if you've identified everything. So can you share some of your initial setbacks in your start के few days, few weeks, how that was, where maybe something that you planned ke aise ho jayega did not go that way, things went wrong?
See, in business, nothing is easy. Success never comes easily. It is always a hard work. You have to do a lot of hard work, and you have to prove to the world that this is gonna work. Only then, you know, the जैसे बोलते कि पूरी कायनात फिर तुम्हारे साथ आ जाती है, जुड़ जाती है और सब लोग तुमको हेल्प करने लग जाते हैं. But then the first few steps are very hard. जैसे हमारे जैनिज्म में भी हम लोग उपास बोलो या कोई भी चीज़ बोलो, पहले 3 उपास करने बहुत डिफिकल्ट होते हैं. एक बार तुम वो चढ़ गए ना, फिर तुम मांस खमन भी कर सकते हो. वैसे ही सेम बिजनेस में भी है. पहला पड़ाव बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है क्योंकि पहले पड़ाव में तुमको जब तुम्हारा कॉन्सेप्ट पूरा नया है ना, तो nobody is there to understand what you are selling, and even you don't know the direction. You have to learn everything through your own mistakes. So it was not easy for sure.
Can you share some of your own mistakes?
Yeah, see, I was from a Marwadi family. Imagine with Gungat, Pallo, and all that.
So you were with Gungat and Pallu.
Yeah,
in your
that was
original
when
life?
I got married, of course. And then convincing the whole family that suddenly I'll be doing a business because I was handling a lot of things at home, and then suddenly they also get insecure. That she's not going to be at home, then who is going to handle all this? The whole challenges were there. But then I was very sure that first I have to win the hearts of my family. I just didn't want it to spill over everything and go bang and do things. I didn't want it to take that path. So I used to do everything at home, serve my in-laws, do my dabbas of bacha, everything I used to do, come to restaurant. Then I didn't have many servers. I used to take order myself. I used to pick up the plates myself. I used to do all the nitty-gritties. I used to study how restaurants are working, why some restaurants are successful. I used to do everything on my own. Again, I used to go at 5 o'clock. My father-in-law is a doctor, so I used to serve him food. Again, I used to drive back home. I didn't have a driver. I didn't have a Maharaj. I didn't have many helps. So I struggled a lot. It was not very easy for me because I knew that when I have started this, so I have to prove myself. I have to prove that whatever I've thought is not wrong and people will love this. So I struggled, I proved myself, then it was easy. I mean, I had to convince everybody, see, this is working, so help me out. So that's how the whole family started helping and supporting. But yeah, initial days were tough for me.
Truly inspiring. I think today people see the success that you have, the awards that you won.
Yeah.
Right now also sitting in your restaurant, I see
Yeah.
awards like everywhere. But मैंने खुद ने plates उठाई है, मैंने खुद ने orders लिए हैं, जा जाके खुद एज अ जो हम बोलते हैं कि वेटर को 10 रुपया टिप कोई देके निकलता है. समटाइम्स कस्टमर्स हैव टिप्ड द ओनर इटसेल्फ अज्यूमिंग इट्स अ वेटर.
I've done everything.
So I think that is what people cannot see, but that is what leads you to the success.
Yes, 100%.
That's great. After all this, or maybe even in the initial days, there would be times when you would have faced losses also.
Yeah.
How do you stay motivated and remain in the game even after facing loss? एक loss, दो loss, where sometimes the pressure might come even from your family and friends कि यार तू पैसे जला रहा है खाली अपने.
To me, it was very fortunate that day once I did do losses. The only big setback came to me during COVID. I had shifted from a smaller restaurant to a bigger restaurant at a different space, and those people sold the place to some landlord, and those landlords sold the place to somebody, and overnight I had to shut the restaurant, which was just 8 months old, and I spent like crores in that, and overnight I had to shut that restaurant and move to a place where I mean, I didn't know where to move because in COVID times it was very difficult to find a space also. So that huge setback was there. Of course, I went into a trauma. I was in a depression for a week. But every day I used to console myself. I used to manifest. I used to visualize that I have got a restaurant already. I would see myself having a beautiful restaurant. So those manifestations, strong prayers really helped me out.
You believe in manifestation?
A lot. Every day morning I manifest, I visualize that my restaurant is full, I visualize myself super energetic, I visualize that I'm growing, I visualize my growth, I visualize everything and I see that things happen exactly the way I'm visualizing. So that is my strongest point. And then I'm a girl with never give up attitude. So then, yes, it took me a week to come out of that trauma, but then I quickly came out of it. I am like, this is what has happened. I can't turn this out. Let me see what I can turn out best. So then, in a week's time, somebody told me that Darius is shutting. And see, that's how you manifest and you exactly get what you want. And I could have never asked for anything better than this. So yeah, I had a setback. Then I thought, ki, yaar, I'm still young. I have so much of energy. I'll earn it back. It's a big deal. And I didn't take it as like a trauma. I just left it as a bad dream. And I again perceived it and again bounced back and grown back.
To be very honest, this story, I knew a very different perspective. Like being a Pune audience myself, and after COVID, things were very different. Some restaurants were there, some were not there.
Yeah.
Restaurant business was one that was affected the most in a way. If I say it, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
So after COVID, when we were just planning कहाँ जाना है, someone told me Sonte expand हो गया है, Darius को भी take over करके triple space हो गया है. I was like, what are you saying? How did they manage this in COVID? So I thought that was a success, but today I got to know that was actually a setback which converted to a success.
So in lockdown, people shut down, and I dared to open one more brand, La Magia. So I came here, I opened something, and there I opened La Magia as well. We did a lot of hampers to, keep getting our salaries and to sustain in the lockdown. So that also clicked. So that's what I'm telling. When you have an attitude of never give up, sit and cry, automatically you have ideas because you're isolated, you're sitting, you're not talking to too many people are not confusing you, you understand exactly what to do, you have a lot of ideas. So isolation is one thing, solitude is one thing I always believe in if you want to grow, because whenever I go on solitude, whenever I am by myself, I have a lot of creativity, lot of good ideas which I look forward for.
You meditate in that time?
I do. And when I'm in isolation, I have a lot of nice ideas which I'm right now also working. I'm coming up with one more brand called Sarva. So I'm working on a lot of things. So isolation really helps me. And then I thought a lot of people must be wanting to have good food, but then how do we give? So we started doing hampers. We started sending lunch, dinner on birthdays, anniversaries. So that became super hit, and still people are calling for that. And that was my innovation, what I did in COVID.
That's
so
amazing.
Really
That's
worked out
amazing.
well for me.
Tell me, how do you manage your creativity? Because in the restaurant business, आपको कुछ ना कुछ नया, कुछ ना कुछ अलग हमेशा करते रहना पड़ेगा. That too, if you want to set a niche audience, which I think is your target audience. आप वही का वही पाव भाजी और पुलाव दोगे, at a time you will become stagnant. How do you manage your creativity?
So in restaurant now, you have to keep raising your hands and saying, hey, we are here, we are here. You have to keep doing that. So nowadays social media is there, it's a big thing, but then you need to understand that how do you portray yourself the best on the social media. So digital marketing, digital performance, social media, and marketing has to be top notch. I mean, initially it was just like good ambience, good service and good food worked. Nowadays you have to crack the good social media as well. So yeah, ideas, as I told you, in isolation I get a lot of ideas. So ideas I get, but then everything and anything happens with the team. So we have an amazing chef with us since day one. Chef Shailendra has been a biggest support to me, and yeah, whatever ideas I get, he converts them into the dishes, and that's how, and then my whole team works and put them a lot of efforts for our trials, and then that's how we come up.
That's nice. If you don't mind, you spoke about the social media presence and the importance of that. I have two questions. I've not planned that, but just as we talk. First, how much do you think is the right spending for a brand on their social media? And number two.
So see, spending right, I can't tell you in the figures, but then at least 2 to 3% of your revenue should be on social media spend, because you need to reach out to people. You need to tell them that, hey, we're doing this, hey, we're doing that. How do people know if you're introducing something else? So then you have to spend. I mean, you have to do digital marketing, performance marketing for that.
Correct. That's nice. Can you talk something about your risk-taking attitude?
So for me, risk is equal to growth. Without risk, you can't grow. You have to take a risk, but of course, you have to take a measurable risk. You can't, I mean, if you don't have any vision, if you don't know what your concept is, if you're not confident from within, I work on my instincts. So if my inner feeling and my instinct is strong that this is gonna work, I take some amount of risk. Like Sante was a total new concept. Nobody had a health food restaurant ever in India. So we took a risk, but then I was super confident. So see, confidence is nothing but a type of manifestation. Because you're sending right type of vibes. You're sending and you're thinking it right before doing it.
Right.
Before doing it, if you start thinking negative, it will never work for you. If you're positive towards what you're thinking, and that becomes a reality. That is what I have done in my life. So I was super confident, though people were not about what concept we were getting in. I was super confident that this will work. What if it doesn't work was always a question to me. And I'm like, if it doesn't work, it's just like one failure and I will try for something else. But then let me at least try. I can't just say that I never tried in life.
That's nice.
So yeah, risk you have to take, but of course a measurable risk. You just can't take blind risk.
How do you differentiate between a measured risk and a blind risk?
So see, when there is a blind risk, somebody comes and tells you, hey, I have a project. and can you invest? So without studying that, you just invest. That's a blind risk. You just don't know the concept. You just trust somebody and you do it. But in my case, it was measurable because I was confident about my concept. So my inner instincts were strong. I was confident. Now if I tell you, come invest in Sante, you know that this brand is growing. Somebody will come and invest in this brand. So that is a measurable risk they are taking.
Correct.
So that is how it is. But then, like in 3-tier cities, we don't know if this brand will work or not work, because people are not very open to have quinoa or this new asparagus or avocados or whatever. They have not developed the palate or the taste for these kind of dishes.
Right.
So if you're trying to open in 3-tier cities, it's a measurable risk you're taking. I'm not saying that it won't work, but it's a measurable risk which I'm going to take. But then, yeah, I know that I have to open up with a very small menu there, and then I can keep growing. I can keep educating people, and that's how people will try developing the taste.
That's nice. I think you also mentioned, but Sante was the first healthy food restaurant in India. Am I right?
Yes.
How did you change people's, like I know for myself, I have a mindset that what is healthy is not tasty. What is tasty is not healthy.
Yeah.
I go to a restaurant when I want tasty food. I eat at home when I want healthy food.
Yeah.
Very consciously I'm putting my hands also in this way.
Yeah.
How do you change people's mindset that healthy food can be tasty? You can go out, spend 1,000 rupees for a dinner for healthy food. How do you change that Indian mindset?
So Ruvik, one small sentence what I would say is, seeing is believing. So when I started, people or our relatives just came to have the food. And I didn't do publicity. So 7 years back, there was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, there was no digital marketing, there was nothing. One, I used to get a lot of spillovers from Darios. Whenever it was full, people used to say, chalo, idhar try karke aate. And one, my family, my close friends came and they're like, no yaar, this
So
food is
basically
not
आप
very
आपके
bad.
competition के बाजू में ही नया
It was
खड़ा
not a competition, no? It's an Italian restaurant, that was a
Right.
health food, there was no competition. But being in a neighborhood where there is already a restaurant was a good thing for me, because it has a very good clientele, all the niche people, all Puna's who used to come to Darius.
Right.
And then that was I mean, people when they passed, they saw कि अच्छा इधर कुछ नया खुला है, चलो try तो करते हैं. People came to try, and the very close friends and family people, when they tried, they loved the food. It was not that they didn't like, and then it was quick mouth publicity, and that's how it spreaded very quickly.
Wow.
When I started, it was like 40 years and 50 years ke age group ke people. Now when I see, I myself stand that even small kids love Sante, and they come and eat at Sante, teenagers party at Sante, and I feel nothing can make me more happy than this.
That's nice. But do people believe healthy food can be tasty?
Yeah, we've made them believe that. I'm telling you, seeing is believing. When they eat, they come and give me a compliment. Non-vegetarians tell that we forget non-vegetarian when we eat that. So I
That
feel,
would give a sense of happiness, satisfaction.
Yeah, so nothing gives me boost than when people tell this.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
they
true.
feel that this brand is something else.
Okay, now being in this for such a long time, getting it done, you spoke about your initial days where you were managing your home in the morning, restaurant in the evening, again home in the evening, again restaurant at the night.
Yeah.
How do you manage your work-life balance now? Like,
See, somehow, yeah, women are so blessed, I think. They can be Chamundi, they can be Lakshmi, they can be Mata, they can take any avatar they want, and they're blessed with multitasking. And I feel I'm so blessed that I could do that in my stages when I started. One, there was a lot of passion, there was a lot of hunger to make this successful, there was a lot of hunger to prove this to the society that no, I am not right, what I'm thinking is working. So that all hunger, that madness, that passion, the discipline made me work that, and it really worked for me. Yeah, it was difficult. I'm not saying it was very easy for me. It was very easy. No, it was not at all easy. It was very, very difficult, because I was on my toes since morning 4:35. I used to get up, pack my kids ka dabba, pack my husband ka dabba. Then I used to attend the phone calls, because right from the housekeeping guy to utility, there was nobody who used to turn up easily, because it was a new restaurant. So people used to not come.
it's
on
basically
time.
running two startups together, home and office.
Home
Both are as
not
good
a
as
startup, but then
as
there
good
were
as the energy
lot
takes.
of responsibilities at home also, because I didn't have really a good help. No driver, no Maharaj, and no full-time buy was like a big thing for me. And I used to do everything on my own. Aata lagao, roti banao, ek jagah phone pe baat kar rahi hu. I used to do like that, and I used to phone karte karte, at times I'm having my khana in my gadi and then I'm driving back to Sante. Then I'm seeing the whole operations, handling guests, talking to them, getting them satisfied, because I knew that initially if guest is happy, they would come to me again and again. So my point was going to each table, convincing them, educating them about what I'm serving. So that was like a big task. At the end of the day, I had no time to talk to anybody, just go to sleep. That tired I used to be. Yeah, those days, if I remember, I still have goosebumps that how did I do that? But yes, I think if you're mad about something, you can do anything.
Truly.
Yeah. You just
I
have to be
like
mad.
that last line. I'm yet stuck on that, to be honest.
Yeah.
How do you manage the pricing of your products?
So
Or rather, how do
see-
you calculate that?
So see, frankly speaking, I leave that all on Chef Shailendra. So he's with me since day one. So he was in the restaurant line since 35 years. He knew exactly how to manage the pricing and all. Of course, we compare the restaurants around कि अच्छा इसका चाय कितने में बिकता है तो हमारा कितने में बिकना चाहिए. What is the best selling price? So we do that all comparison, and that's how we price our menus. And of course, the ingredients and cost price we have to consider. But then see, if you see normally the pizzas outside are sold at 450, 500. At the same rate we sell it, though we are multi-grain. So the purpose is not only earning, of course, to serve a good food to the society is also one of the person, to give back something nice to the society. So we're not running after only earning. Of course, I'm not doing a social service. But then yeah, I am matching the prices of whatever the whole restaurant line is giving. But then yeah, we also focusing on a lot of quality.
How well paying is the food industry?
It is, I think, see, there are all type of customers. If you give good quality, there are people who pay. There are. There are all type of people.
And what all
There are masses
expenses
and
are
there
involved for you to be able to earn before that?
What are the?
What are the expenses that are you yourself
We
have to
have
incur?
lot of overheads. Lot of. Restaurant is like an ongoing process. As AC kharab ho gaya, as fridge kharab ho gaya, as mixer ud gaya. This then every day. So we have an in-house electrician, in-house people who are doing all this, because it's a big setup and every day there is some breakdown. But then yeah, that is a part and parcel of us. So
That's nice.
we
that's
have
nice.
got used to it.
Okay, I think we discussed a lot about your lows, your failures, how you overcame them. Tell me one thing. I think this is something different question. It's something different. How do you manage your highs? Because it's important to manage your lows as well as your highs also. So when you face some high, you feel that you've achieved something. Everyone is praising you. You have your awards hung all around the place. Then to remaining humble and not getting in a high, in spite of the high.
Ruvik, I'll tell you, this question really makes me emotional because this is all about Jainism. Being a Jain, what our Gurudevs or what our sanskars, what my parents have taught me is to be always be grounded. I show attitude. Of course, I have to carry attitude, but it's not a wrong kind of attitude. Just because this is a man's world, I'm a woman, I can't be so interactive to anybody. At times I show my attitude, but then I'm very grounded. If somebody comes and talks to me, I'm very grounded. If some woman comes and asks me for any help, I will be the first person to help them out, because I feel every woman should be independent financially, not by their thoughts, but financially also. It's very important for a woman to be independent. So then I am grounded, but then a lot of people might take me that I carry attitude. But yes, I do carry, but it's not an ego attitude because of my awards or because of my success or whatever. That doesn't matter to me. I just carry an ego attitude because I'm in a society surrounded with a lot of men, working with a lot of men. People just can't take me granted or take me like that. So I carry a very thin line of attitude, of course. But then anybody comes and talks to me or anybody comes for me for any kind of help, there is never a no from my side.
I really like the difference where we need to have the clarity that I have an attitude
Yes.
versus I carry an attitude
Yes.
are two different things.
Yes.
I think that's something very personal only
No,
ourselves
but when
can
it comes to my friends or when it comes to my family, I don't feel ki, oh, I have achieved all this, so I have to keep in distance. No, when it comes to my bai, whatever, I just recently took my bai for a vacation. So I don't have that kind of attitude at all.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
because I think Jainism is imbibed in us and it tells us that how grounded you have to be, how forgiving you have to be, how let going you have to be. So I never have my grievances, grudges towards anybody. I'm a very let going person.
That's amazing. I think that's what Michhami Dukram is
Yes.
all about.
But that's not a one day process, that's a lifelong process for me.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yes.
Tell me one thing, because we're discussing this, I had planned this for a later stage, but otherwise, what are your thoughts on spirituality and those aspects of life? How
I'm
do
a
you practice,
big
or what are your
big believer of spirituality. One big thing I like in spirituality is about gratitude. So when I sleep at night, right from my chefs to my utility to my servers, the whole team, I visualize them and I pay my gratitude. And if I have shouted for my work purpose anybody, I see that, I tell them sorry before I leave the restaurant.
you actually tell them, or in your mind?
I actually tell them because see, I feel कि any worker जो भी छोटा बड़ा है वो उसके कर्म से है, वो उसके नसीब से बना है. हो सकता है मेरे को भी कभी ऐसे दिन देखने पड़े या नहीं देखने पड़े. So I feel everybody has their own self respect. I'm not supposed to shout, but the situation at times demands, and then I get hyper and I tell them whatever I have to tell them, but then I immediately go and apologize them, be it my utility or my housekeeping as well. I respect every person.
I
When
really
I
salute
want
that.
a glass of water also, I tell them, bacha, can you please give me a water? Then that is how my ecosystem is built, and that is how my staff is very good to me, and I'm very thankful to them, because without them nothing can happen.
Of course. That's truly phenomenal. What are your thoughts on entrepreneur and employee relationships, and how should they be?
I tell people that just step into my shoes, and I keep taking briefing. Once in 15 days, I talk to my all bachas, I take their briefing, I talk to the kitchen team, I understand their problems, I try to solve their problems together, because kitchen team and the service team cooperation is very important. They have to go hand in hand, they can't have their own ego attitudes, but then at times there are small clashes happening. So then I make it a point that I sit together, we have small parties, we have the rewards like best utility, best head chef, best baker, we keep giving them awards and all. We celebrate on Sundays, we get them some nice snacks and all that, some mithai, and we celebrate. So that's how on the table we sit and discuss that what are the problems, how I can solve. I understand from my servers what customer complaints are, what are they asking for, what are they demanding for. So we see that we incorporate on our menu. So all these discussions keeps happening once in 15 days.
Coming to the last question for this podcast, what are your top 5 key learnings as an entrepreneur, as a woman entrepreneur,
Yeah, very
as
important.
rather, let me add 3 states: as an entrepreneur, as a woman entrepreneur, as a woman entrepreneur starting at 40.
Yeah.
What are your 5 key
Yeah, like
learnings?
everybody says, age is the number. You just have, I think I tell everybody, we have switch on, switch off button in our brains. If you switch on that, come on, you can do it. If you, see, you have to be self-motivated. Nobody can motivate you. People can inspire you, but motivation comes from within. So if you switch on that button, hey, come on, I have to do it, and age is just the number, keep rolling. You come out of your comfort zone. See, every husband is earning, they're giving you all the love, everything, whatever you demand. But being self-independent and financially independent is very important. I can't tell you how happy I feel, how contented I feel. It's just not because I have money and I can spend. But then you're so independent that if I want to donate something, I don't have to ask. My biggest thing was my donations. I love to donate. I love to see so many girls independent. So whenever I want to do something, convincing somebody and asking money was a big task for me. So rest all I was getting in my life, and then really I wanted to be financially independent, to do whatever I wanted to do in life. And I feel every woman should be financially independent. Chota mota har kisi mein talent hota hai. You have to just motivate yourself. Come out of that comfort zone, do something. You will feel very happy. You will feel contented at the end of the day. Never give up attitude. For sure, there
Correct.
are going to be ups and downs, there are going to be hassles, nothing is going to be easy. हम लोग बहुत बार बोलते हैं सास ने नहीं करने नहीं दिया, ससुर ने नहीं करने दिया. They are all bahanas. Let me tell you, seriously, they are all bahanas. We are giving to ourselves just to hide and not do anything. We're just trying to hide behind their pallas कि सास करने नहीं दे रही, ससुर नहीं करने दे रहा, पति नहीं बोल रहा है, बच्चे मना कर रहे, I just don't have time. They all are bahanas. If you try, if you decide, you can do wonders.
Wow.
And women have multitasking. They are born with that, and utilize that. Why not? I mean, why are we just restricted to home? I understand being a housewife is not easy, but then we are multitask. We are born with that sixth sense. We are born with that qualities. Then why not use that? We have to use it to our optimal. I have seen so many successful women, they're doing it everything. Because I have been doing that, still my kids expect me to at times make lunch for them, and I feel happy about it. At times I'm still making lunch, at times I'm doing all my ghar ka decor myself, at times I'm doing I'm running from morning, but I've disciplined my life. Like till 12:30, I don't take any office calls, any business calls. I've made it sure that my focus is only my family. So till 12:30, I don't take any calls. And after that, I see that my focus is only my work. So if you discipline your work, if you plan out, you can do everything and anything very easily. Initial stages, as I told, are difficult, but then you still can do. And third thing, you have to be mad about what you want to do in life. You just can't be casually doing कि चलो पति का
चला
पैसा
तो चला,
लगा तो लगा
हाँ.
नहीं. No, you have to be very mad about it. You have to be, once you're mad and you're passionate, you have to leave everything. No kiddie parties, no parties, no nothing for some days. Just be focused. Then once everything is set, your whole ecosystem is strong, and then you can still be back on your whatever you want to do.
Wow.
But that contentment is very good. And then I think I balance my life well, because when I sit in introspect every day at night, I think I get up, I do my workouts, I never miss them. I hit my gym at 6 o'clock. I come, I do my breakfast, I chill a bit with my friends also. Once in 15 days, I move out with my friends. It's not that I just don't go anywhere. I meet a lot of people here. And I am eating very balanced food. I see that I maintain myself at whatever age I am. So all these things, make me keep going. And I am a very enthusiastic. If anybody just tells me, "Ki Sonal, let's do this," I'm like first person who will push and do it.
That's
so I'll
nice.
never be laid back कि अरे छोड़ यार नहीं करते. I'll never be like that. I mean, anybody will ask me to do anything कि चल आज फुटबॉल खेलते हैं. I'll never think कि अरे मैंने जिंदगी में फुटबॉल नहीं खेला कैसे खेलूं. I'll say चल let's try, let's play. So that is how, life में छोटी छोटी चीजें you have to keep trying. I mean, age is never a limit. I have learnt golf at a very later age. I have learned so many things in my life at a very later age. I started my business at the age of 40. So yeah, we have some mind blocks in our mind that we can't do this and that, but it's never like that. You have to just decide, switch on the button, kick start and keep it
Really
going.
inspiring, really inspiring.
Yeah.
Coming to the end of this podcast, how was your experience with us? How was it for you doing this podcast with us?
So frankly speaking, Ruvik, I felt it very, very comfortable because it just went in the flow. I also, you took me to my background. Now I forgot how my struggles were. I have just enjoying this journey of mine. But then, yeah, you took me back there and I still have goosebumps when I think about how I started.
I had them.
Yeah, and I still can't believe that, I went through all that to come here. You took me there and that's very emotional for me. Yes.
I can understand, yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Do share in the comments what you like the most. And for more such content, subscribe to the Raj podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.